Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Larry Ha playing the Tier 10 U.S. Destroyer Gearing. Gearing is one of my favorites. Recently, I've been I've been playing the Tromp, the Dutch destroyer, quite a bit. But I have a lot of games in Gearing, and I think it's a great destroyer. If you've watched my videos before, you've probably heard me say it. I think the Gearing, while it may not be the best at anything, is very good at most everything. Taking a look at the matchmaking, CVs in the game, that's always an extra challenge for destroyers. Gearing, of course, does have smoke. You can see there are 3 there on the bottom of your screen. And rather than the defensive fire, it looks like Larry has opted for the speed boost. So we've got the Hakuryu CV to contend with. In terms of DD threats on the opposing team, Ragnar, well, that is definitely a threat. The guns on that thing are just terrifying. There's a Gearing on the other team and a Shimakaze. Cruisers, well, that's some powerful gun there as well. So you got Salem, Gudenlu, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. Shimakaze is, let's just hope the Shimakaze is on the other side. And then, of course, you've got the sub, the Gato, which, if you have watched any videos, it is arguably ridiculously powerful in the current meta. All right, so in terms of targets, well, there's the Yamato, Ohio, and the Grosser Kurfürst. So I would say that of the batch there, probably Yamato is going to be the easiest to hit. It is moving this way. It looks like Larry is going to throw torpedoes at it. The destroyer that is smoking that screen across there, but I'm not sure why the destroyer is doing that. What's that? Oh, the Wooster. Okay, so he's whatever destroyer is out there. It's got to be the Shimakaze or the Gearing, right? Because we can see that the Ragnar is at the other end of the map. He is smoking for the Wooster to be able to move in and radar the cap circle. Now you can see the red circle on the mini-map tells you 11.1 kilometers. Wooster is well inside of that. And I expect that if Larry backs into the cap here, he will be immediately radared. Those torpedoes actually look pretty good. They've got the range to catch the Salem if the Salem's not careful. And Larry very wisely backing into the cap. Nicely done, Larry. Now Larry does have a little bit of support here. He's got Salem and Ohio. And looks like the spread on those, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 torpedoes. And it looks like 2 sets, right? So probably the Gearing. Shimakaze, the red Shimakaze probably secured the Bravo. Yep, there he is. So Kurfürst and Yamato both on this side. That's going to create some potential opportunities for our hero. As the bad guys secure the center cap early, Ragnar is keeping the good guys south of Charlie. And I certainly can't blame. Oh, there's the radar. And it doesn't look to me like Larry is going to be able to secure this cap. He's got 8 seconds. Maybe he can. Is anybody going to shoot at him? No, he's out of the cap. So close. He might have been able to nab it because it looked like Wooster was firing on maybe Salem. But there are the shells. Torpedoes away. And here's hoping that some of those land on the Yamato. Now, the Shimakaze sitting at what, Golf 6? He's doing all he can as the friendly U-2501 puts torpedoes into Yamato, and I'm guessing Larry is firing on Yamato because he's hoping that Yamato repaired, but I don't know that firing there was really a very good idea, and he didn't give anywhere near enough lead. Now Larry's falling back. And it looks like those torpedoes are just going to be a whip. Nope. He caught the Wooster. Now that is a very lucky thing, and that worked out really well. Now Wooster's going to try and do a little repair work as Larry throws more torpedoes out for Yamato. And unless Yamato turns around completely, which it looks like he may be doing, those might land, and they might also catch the Salem. Salem may run around. So you can see that the U-2501 is at 50 meters of depth. So the Salem might be right on top of him, yeah, pretty close. And Larry's getting awful close to the border of the map here. Hopefully he can make this turn without hitting it. Looks like he can. Now Salem's radar is a little bit shorter than Des Moines, thank goodness. Meanwhile, Holland did secure the Charlie Cap. Now, if you're keeping score, the good guys are down 3 ships, bad guys are only down 1. And Salem now at 9.3 clicks, and I think if I were Larry, I'd be running to try to get behind this island. That's a nice hit right on the nose of the Salem. And I would just run due south. Don't let Salem get within 9 clicks. There he gets some torpedoes away. And, you know, something that I'm seeing here that I'm really liking is that Larry does seem to be turning his guns and torpedo to in the direction of his turn, which I think is really smart. Salem is falling back. Don't think I would have fired there, but probably not going to matter. He's out of range immediately. Now, one of the things about using your guns in a destroyer is that, as you can see, that the red team now, the bad guys, the Wooster's almost dead. So let's hope that he gets finished off. That'll change things a little bit. When you fire your guns in a destroyer, if you get detected even for a second, you tell the bad guys how to angle. So one of the things that I encourage anyone playing destroyers is Holland now takes out Ohio. That's fantastic. Now the bad guys have a significant lead, over 200 points, having secured a cap early, and now they're in the Charlie Cap, keeping the good guys from collecting any more points. And it looks like Larry has now caught the attention of the CV. You can see aircraft coming this way. Larry has his anti-aircraft turned off, which is a very smart thing. It's going to make it a little bit more challenging for the CV to find him out here. And he does have smoke if he needs it. But with Salem cruising around out there, I think maybe getting farther back might be a good idea. You can see the U-2501 is at 60 meters now. There's no way he's going to find the Salem. Okay, now we know the Salem is outside of radar range. And looks like Salem might be heading for the cap. And with this turn, Larry is almost certainly going to be within radar range here. We'll see. No, he's able to avoid that. Gets the torpedoes away. Salem is turning. But I have a feeling now Larry's taking a big chance here. He's so close now that if Salem radars, he's definitely going to get detected. And it really wasn't necessary to get this close. But he's falling back now in an effort to get outside of radar range. And those torpedoes look decent. Let's hope at least one of them will hit. Salem makes a turn there just in time to eat a face full of torpedoes. Nice. All right, so that's kill number 1 for Larry. So Larry's sitting at a little over 80,000 damage. We're almost 10 minutes into the match. Good guys are still in this. Both teams now down 4 ships. Ragnar is almost gone. And he gets a pat on the back from the Salem player. Red Catcher 56. That's really nice. I love to see that kind of sportsmanship. So what's Larry going to do here? I would probably be pushing across to the 2-line, 3-line, etc. Because if this match stays close, I think it's going to be really important. Assuming Larry's able to finish off the Kurfürst. He's going to need to get to the Bravo cap. And it looks like that's what Larry's doing. Now, you got to be really careful here because you don't want to get hydro. And I would set out one set and see whether or not the Kurfürst has hydro up. Because if Kurfürst has hydro up, he's going to see all these torpedoes and he's going to be able to angle. Now, maybe what Larry's hoping here is that Kurfürst does not have hydro up, or that it's on cooldown, and that he's going to be able to just take the Kurfürst out. And he might. I mean, you can see Kurfürst is beginning to turn, but it's way too late. He's going to eat, what, 5? Yeah, 5 torpedoes. Kurfürst did not sink, as Larry essentially doubles his damage. And it's counting. It's up to 151 now and 153. And U-2501 finishes him off. Now that's fantastic. So the U-2501, I would have turned the other way, I think. U-2501 finishes off the Kurfürst and is now in a position to be able to cap. You can see he's surfacing in order to do that. But Larry is sitting on the map edge. He's on the 1 line, and I really feel like he should be more center. He's still got almost all of his HP, and he could really be helping out over there. But still, solid, right? 156,000 damage on 11 torpedo hits. And Larry's now kind of heading in the right direction. Friendly Holland still has 9,500 HP. Now the bad guys still have a commanding lead, almost 300 points. And the good guys, Malta took a lot of damage. Genon, U-2501, they are just sneeze on them and they're gone, as Genon just shot down by the Shimakaze. Now, kudos to Grecom 1945 for using his guns in the Shimakaze. So many players, when they're playing a torpedo boat, are loath to use the guns, but Shimakaze guns are actually really good. If you can finish somebody off with 1 volley, they are great for that. So what I was talking about a minute ago, I would have probably headed this way a little earlier, and this is why. Now, this may still turn out great, but coming from the 1 line, late in the game, when the action is really kind of at Bravo and Charlie, it's going to take Larry quite a while to get there. And we'll have to see how this turns out. You can see torpedoes are out on Yamato. Salem takes out the Gato, which is fantastic. Good guys still have 6 ships in the game. Bad guys now only have 5. But the bad guys still have a commanding lead. Holland is, for whatever reason, avoiding thus far getting into that cap circle. And the U-2501 Muto, rightly, at least in my opinion, points out that, hey, we need that cap. Bad guys have 715, 16 points. We got to slow that down. Now the Malta can focus on the Yamato. And Yamato, the red Yamato there, I'm not sure why he's pushing in that direction. I'm not sure how good an idea that is, because he's got to be looking at what's left on the green team. U-2501 Holland and Gearing, and he's pushing into a narrow gap. You can see that the Gearing there on your screen, Shade Strike. He's still got a lot of HP. Shimakaze, not so much. Holland Torpedoes the Yamato. Well done to Phil BG. And it looks like the good guys are going to be able to secure the Bravo cap here nicely. And that changes the complexion of this game quite a bit. Now, to push through this gap or not to push through this gap, and Larry detects that we got smoke there. I can put the guns at nowhere near enough lead, but firing here is safe because nobody can see him. Nobody can see Larry, so it's okay to use the guns. And really, Larry still has a lot of HP. Now the threat here is torpedoes. Got a Shimakaze and a gearing out there. And just like I was mentioning about the Yamato, when you're coming through these gaps like this, and Larry is showing a lot of side. It is easy to eat torpedoes. Larry deciding about where to put them now. If you look at the mini-map, it looks like that's going to miss the first island, but catch the second one. Oh, guns on the Shimakaze. I'm not sure why Larry's focusing on the gearing here. Shimakaze is nearly dead. Well, looks like we got a little bit of tunnel vision there. But Larry does catch the gearing with the torpedo. Could have had a double strike there, I think. So, lesson there. Keep an eye on the minimap. Keep checking it. It's really great that when Larry zooms in, he zooms right back out after firing. That's fantastic. When you do that, check the minimap as Larry crosses in front of the Holland Torps, unfortunately. So there's the Shimakaze again lit up, and there is an opportunity here to be able to gun him down. I don't know that there's enough lead there, but we'll see. CV is bringing guns in, and I'm not sure what aiming reticule that Larry is using, but I would encourage him to use the, what is it, Nomogram Classic. It'll tell you, that's what you're seeing on your screen here. Now that doesn't mean Larry's using it, it means I have it on my machine. And the way that works, well, you know, there's a video here on the ICOP channel about how to aim using that reticule. And if you haven't checked it out, Larry or anyone else, I highly recommend it. Now this game at this point, this is pretty well over. 162,613 damage, 12 torpedo strikes, 4 decaps, 2 ships sunk on those 12 torpedo strikes, 8 floods, 4 shells on target, and 4 detections. A very strong game. As the friendly Malta explains that he hasn't played since CVs were RTS. So, great game, Larry. If I were to offer any kind of commentary at all beyond that, it would be I would work on your aiming, and you can do that in a training room. Grab another ICOP. If you catch me on, you can ask me to do it, and I'm happy to run around in a red ship. I'll pick a small agile destroyer, and we'll give you some work with the Nomogram Classic aiming reticule, so that you can be a little bit more. What it does is it helps you with how much lead you need to give. And it's really great. It'll take you a day or so to get used to if you're not using it already. And if you are using it already, but you're not really sure how it works, I can help you with that as well. I think I'd probably turn the AA on here. Really no harm in it. It's going to get detected anyway. So when you are detected in a destroyer, it's okay to turn your AA on. I really encourage you to do that. Jacobite is moving into gun range. Now when Larry zooms in, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a long line, a reticule that'll tell you a bunch of numbers, and that's kind of how many seconds it's going to, well, you can see how many seconds it's going to take. 9.93 seconds. We've only got 20 seconds left in the game. I'm not sure why our hero isn't firing here. I definitely would be. There's not enough time for the torpedoes to even get there. Great game again, Larry. Thanks a lot for sending this, brother. You really played a good one here. Those of you joining me, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.